Welcome back everyone. In this video, I'm going to share with you the top 5 tips you can use to score well in the PTE Writing module. So without any further ado, let's begin. The first tip that has helped a lot of my students is to plan before you start writing. Now guys, this tip applies specifically to the write essay part, and I'm going to explain what it is. What happens in write essay guys is the students sees a question and they start writing, well, they start typing their essay. What happens is because it's the pressure of the exam and the lousy preparation of the student, they don't really know what they're writing about. So they start off writing about one topic, but after 15 minutes are gone, they read their answer and they find out that they have been writing about something completely different. Now, in that scenario, guys, you are not going to score well because the question is not asking for an answer. The relevance of your answer to the question is not very good. So, to avoid that from happening to you, I want you to plan before you start writing. What I mean by that is, before you start writing, now this is the important part. This is not going to work when you're 15 minutes into the test. Before you start writing, I want you to write your points, just the main highlight, just the main points, not the complete sentences, just a point on what you're going to write about. And then match that with the question. Now have a look at your point and have a look at the question carefully. See if these two make any sense. By doing this, what happens is when you compare the points that you are going to write versus the topic, you will see sometimes that, okay, my point is correct, but it does not make any sense in regards to this particular topic. And this should avoid you the trouble of writing off content. Guys, very important. Just plan out your points before you start writing and match them with the topic. And this should avoid the hassle of being irrelevant to the topic, of your answer being irrelevant to the topic. So, this is the first tip. Now, the other 4 tips apply to all the modules. So, have a look. Number 2 is to use complex sentences instead of simple ones. Now, if you have seen my other video which explains the format and scoring of all the question types in writing, you will know that the scores are divided into a few different parameters, and the main ones are vocabulary, content, grammar, development, coherence, structure, and linguistic range. Now, in case you have not, go and watch that video first and then come back to this one. But all of these parameters, you can score well in all of the ones I mentioned if you use complex sentences instead of simple ones. Let me show you by an example. Now these are a few examples of simple lines. Now keep an eye. And this is an example of a complex sentence. The main basic difference between a complex and a simple sentence is, guys, in simple sentence, normally you will have one line explaining one idea. That's it. One line will mention one idea. But in a complex sentence, a single line will include many ideas. Now, this is just a simple example to illustrate what I mean. Now, even if you compare these two, you will easily see that the one on the bottom will score better in vocab, better in content, better in grammar, better in development, coherence, structure, linguistic range, and again the parameters that I mentioned. So guys, this is what I mean. Use complex sentences instead of simple ones, and this will work both for summarized written text as well as write essay. So keep the second tip in mind. It has helped almost each and every single one of my students, and this will help you too if you learn it and apply it. And learn it by practicing, not just by watching this video. Practice, practice, practice. Moving further, number 3 is reread your answers carefully prior to submitting. Just by spending an extra couple of minutes at the end of your answer when you're done with your answer, reading it carefully, this will avoid some very small minor stupid mistakes such as spellings and punctuation, and this might save you a lot of marks in the writing module. So guys, read your answers carefully prior to submitting, and you can correct those minor mistakes and score better just by doing this simple task, just by spending a couple of extra minutes. Okay. Number 4 is obviously practice. I have said this in other videos and I'm going to say this over here again because it doesn't matter how many times I say it, students still don't get the hang of it. Guys, practice, practice, practice. Nothing will get you more scores in writing, speaking, reading, or listening, as a matter of fact, than you practicing yourself. So spend time practicing. This is what develops your skill, and this is what is going to ultimately get you the scores you need. Even if the best teacher in the world is teaching you guys, the best teacher can only show you a path. It is your choice to walk on it. It is your choice to do the task that he or she recommends. So guys, practice. And the best way to do that is read, write, and compare. What I mean by that is, guys, whenever you're doing a question type, let's take write essay for an example. Now, again, this is a website that I would like to recommend for write essay. Go to ieltsexam.net and look for writing task 2 topics. Now, this is an IELTS based website, but the writing task 2 topics, well, in your case, the write essay topics are quite similar. And the reason I recommend this website is because it has got a lot of quality content. So go on the website, find the writing task 2 topics, in your case, the essay topics, and read them. See the kind of vocabulary, the structure, the sentence formation that they use in their answers. See the range of grammar that they use in their answer, and then with the same topic that you are reading, write it out yourself. Write that answer in your own terms. See, well, consider this as the exam, pick that as a topic, and now write out your own answer. And then at the end, when you're done with your answer, compare your answer versus their answer. This is like a mirror, guys. This shows you exactly what you're doing wrong versus what they're doing right. You can see easily the level of vocabulary that you are writing versus the level of vocabulary they are using. You can see the level of sentence formation that you possess versus them. You can see how good of a linguistic range you use versus them, and then so on. So comparison is the best way to judge where you're going wrong versus where they are going right. So read, write, and compare, and guys, practice. The amount of time and effort you put into this is going to get you the output, so practice as much as you can. Now for summarized written text, you can do the same. Simply go to Google and look for PTE summarized written text samples. Just choose the first website, ptetutorials.com. This is the question, and then they provide their own answer as well. So read the question, attempt it, and then compare your answer with their answer. So this is the number 4. Read, write, and compare, practice. The last tip that I want to recommend is get your answers checked by a teacher. The reason I recommend this, guys, even if you have been practicing for a long time, if you haven't had the appropriate supervision, there's a good chance you've been practicing the wrong thing. Now, you might be perfect, but perfect in the wrong thing, and that does not help a lot. So get your answers checked by a teacher. Now, this is a part where I can help you as well. Simply go into the comments of this video, whichever question you attempt and whichever answers you want to get checked, type out the question and then write out your answer, and then I'll give you my input on what you're doing right versus what you're doing wrong, and also what you need to do to improve. These are a few of my students who went for the IELTS and PTE exams recently. As you can see, they scored well thanks to a combined team effort of the teacher and the student. If you want to become one of these high achievers, contact me on my email for one-on-one Skype classes for IELTS and PTE. I assure you that I am the guy who can get you the band scores you need and deserve. So guys, these are the 5 tips that I would like to recommend to improve your PTE writing. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you learned something from the video, like and share it for the benefit of others. See you next time.